Hello dear students, welcome to the first online lecture of biology class 9th, and in this lecture we are going to study the chapter named respiration in plants. So first of all we are going to discuss what is respiration and why it is needed by plants. So obviously we will get through the definition. The definition is as per here: oxidation of glucose to give carbon dioxide, water and energy is respiration. Why does it happen? Because every living organism require energy for their metabolic activities. So here is the reaction, the famous reaction. This is glucose C6H12O6, oxygen in presence of some enzyme get converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. There is written ATP. This ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and the adenosine triphosphate is also known as energy currency of cell. So this is the basic thing we are going to study in this chapter. This is the overall idea, and now we will one by one we will study the steps that happen in the process of respiration, where I have written these enzymes. That enzymes process we are going to study, and we will also study how the oxygen enter inside the cells of the living organism. So we are talking about the exchange of gases. How does exchange of gases happen in plants and in unicellular organism? It happens through the process of diffusion. What does the word diffusion means? Suppose there is a cell, and here is R is air, in which oxygen is there, carbon dioxide is there, nitrogen is there, and inside also there will be these gases CO2, oxygen and nitrogen. Okay, so when the concentration of carbon dioxide inside the cell is more than the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, this carbon dioxide will move outwards. The carbon dioxide will move outwards. Okay, in the same fashion, when we talk about oxygen, when the concentration of oxygen inside the cell is less, the oxygen from the atmosphere will move inside of the cell. This movement of gases is called diffusion. It is based on the concentration, which is going to decide whether the gas will move inside or whether the gas will move outside of the cell. This happens in plant and unicellular organism. Now there is a confusion regarding respiration in plants. You know, I have told you that respiration happens in every living organism. So plants are not the thing where respiration cannot happen. So there happens respiration, but we have also heard that plant take up carbon dioxide and give oxygen out during the day. This process is photosynthesis. So they are giving outside oxygen and taking up carbon dioxide. And how is their respiration? Why are you saying so, sir? What happens is, plant use oxygen in very limited amount for their energetic activities. Okay, so the oxygen that is produced during photosynthesis, from that oxygen a small amount of oxygen is being used up by plant, and the rest is released outside. So the gross oxygen is released outside, but some amount of oxygen is used up by plant. In the similar fashion, when they use oxygen, they are going to release carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is going to be used for photosynthesis inside the plant. So in general we cannot visualize that during the day plant is taking up oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. This is the thing during the day when the process of photosynthesis happen. But during the night there is no photosynthesis, so there is no synthesis of oxygen that would be given out. Plant at that time also won't have to respire, so for that purpose plant will take up carbon dioxide, not carbon dioxide, they will take up oxygen from the atmosphere and use up it up and give outside carbon dioxide. During night oxygen is taken and CO2 is released. Okay, this is being said by our elders that one should not sleep during the night below the tree, because a large amount of carbon dioxide is being released during the respiration of plant at night. So this is a saying, and this is the true scientific reason behind why one should not sleep under the tree at night. Okay. Students, now let's talk about cellular respiration. In cellular respiration, two processes happen, and these two processes are the fundamental for the production of energy in any unicellular organism or in any cell that has aerobic or anaerobic respiration. Okay, so the first process that is going to happen is glycolysis, and the second process is Krebs cycle. In glycolysis, glyco stands for glucose and lysis stands for breakdown. So in the process of glycolysis there will be breakdown of glucose into smaller molecules, and in the Krebs cycle the pyruvic acid, the product that we get from glycolysis, pyruvic acid get converted into citric acid or will get converted into lactic acid, ethyl alcohol or carbon dioxide, and will continue the process. So let us study the reactions and how from the glucose energy is being released and what are the products that are formed during this course. Okay, so there is glucose, one molecule of glucose has 6 carbon. You have got that formula in your mind, which I have discussed the first chemical reaction where I have written C6H12O6. So glucose has 6 carbons. In this 6 carbon glucose, 2 ATP get added, and these 2 ATP activate the glucose. That glucose also contains 6 carbon. The activated glucose get decomposed into 3 carbon sugar each. One is here and other is here. From this 3 carbon sugar we get 2 ATP, 2 hydrogen and a pyruvic acid. When it get more metabolized, and that is it take its course in the reaction, it get converted into pyruvic acid. For the pyruvic acid, here these two molecules have the choice. If oxygen is present, they will do something like this, and if oxygen is absent, they will get converted into lactic acid and ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide. Okay, so let's talk about the presence of oxygen. In presence of oxygen, the pyruvic acid is going to release 3 ATP, 1 carbon dioxide and 2 hydrogen molecule, and this pyruvic acid is going to combine with coenzyme A and will get converted into acetyl coenzyme A. This is a 2 carbon compound. Pyruvic acid is also a 3 carbon compound. Okay, pyruvic acid is also a 3 carbon compound. You also have to keep in mind that till pyruvic acid the reaction happens inside the cytoplasm. After this reaction, the pyruvic acid move into mitochondria. Okay, in mitochondria it get converted into acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A will enter into the Krebs cycle, and what it will do, it will get converted into citric acid, which is a 6 carbon compound. From citric acid, there will be a formation of 5 carbon compound and releasing of 2 hydrogen. From 5 carbon compound, there will be formation of oxaloacetic acid. The oxaloacetic acid will get combined here, will move towards acetyl coenzyme A, and the process continues. Okay, so pyruvic acid will come here only in mitochondria, and that process will start from here. This is glycolysis and this is Krebs cycle. Okay, when the oxygen is not present, in the absence of oxygen, what happens in animals? The pyruvic acid get converted into lactic acid, but in plants and unicellular organisms, when oxygen is absent, the pyruvic acid get converted into ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide, and during this process which is Krebs cycle, 12 ATP are released. Okay, I am not going to give account where is ATP released and where is ATP not released, because that will become very cumbersome for you to learn. So here 12 ATP is produced, here 2 ATP is produced, 2 ATP, but 2 ATP was used, so net 2 ATP was produced in glycolysis of one glucose molecule. Okay, so this is the whole process, and in overall process there is release of 38 ATP molecules. Okay, so now let's talk about the type of respiration. On the basis of presence and absence of oxygen, respiration is of two types. Number one is aerobic respiration and number two is anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, this occurs only when the oxygen is present, and anaerobic respiration occurs when oxygen is absent. In aerobic respiration, 38 ATP energy molecules are produced by a single glucose molecule, but in anaerobic respiration only 2 ATP energy molecules are produced. In aerobic respiration, the end product is carbon dioxide, water and energy. In anaerobic respiration, the end product is lactic acid in animals and carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol in plants and unicellular organism. Okay, so this is the basic difference that arises in aerobic and anaerobic respiration. The last topic of this video that we are going to discuss is difference between respiration and combustion. So before discussing the difference, let us know what are the similarities between respiration and combustion. In both the process, oxygen is used and carbon dioxide and water is released. Okay, in both the process, whether it is respiration, whether it is combustion. Okay, now talk about the difference. Respiration is a biological process, that is it occurs inside the cell, whereas combustion is a non-cellular process, that combustion does not occur inside the cell and it is a chemical process. Okay, in respiration, the molecule that is being used is glucose, which is oxidized in a step-by-step manner, and energy is released in different stages. You have learned that in glycolysis only 2 ATP energy molecules are released, and in the subsequent steps where we were doing a Krebs cycle, we have released a different amount of ATP at different stages. Okay, when we talk about combustion, in combustion you burn a matchstick and just put it over there and all the energy is released in that single step itself. Okay, The third difference is that the energy released is either directly used in plants. When respiration happens, the energy which is released in the form of ATP is either directly used or is stored in the form of ATP. A small part of energy is dissipated as heat. Where we talk about combustion, most energy is dissipated as heat and some amount of energy is dissipated as light. When we burn something, at that time heat and light are released together. Okay. The fourth difference is respiration is regulated by enzymes, whereas in combustion no enzyme is involved. Okay. This is the basic difference that is between respiration and combustion. Thank you for having me, class. We will meet in the next lecture.